the Apeman was my favorite guy. We're Racist Dave and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm still
and then I started listening to PTR exclusively, and then Colin, you're the guy.
And now, back to PTR Radio with Colin.
That's right, with Colin.
Yeah, I'm here.
How can we compete with that?
I don't know. I guess we need to have a 2-hour show with only 30 minutes worth of talking. I mean, that's what we got to do.
Look, it's his world. We're just living in it.
That's right. That's what it is. Welcome, everybody, to PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. Oh, this is PTR Radio. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're not new to the show and you've been listening for a long time, welcome back. We did take a couple of weeks off, but we're back. We had to have some time for Christmas, and now we're back on it again. We'll be back every 2 weeks from now on, unless one of us has a birthday or an anniversary, or there's a holiday, or we just don't feel like it. But for the most part, we'll be here every 2 weeks from now on. And doing better about getting stuff posted to the podcast. So make sure that you are subscribed to that. PTRradio.com has all the information on how to do that, regardless of whether you are good and proper and true and you have an Android device, or whether you're one of those, 12 o'clock flashers and you have an iPhone. Regardless, you can subscribe to the podcast. So, you can also check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. So, stay in touch with the show. That's what you want to do. And, we got all kinds of things for you planned tonight. Mike, tell them some of the things we got coming up in the show.
We got a lot of interesting things coming up in the show, most of which do not involve alcohol tonight. We are going to talk a little bit. Are we talking any political? I don't think we're talking any political tonight. Let me pull up the white sheet. I'm so unprepared. We're going to talk a little bit about whether or not we want to become royalty. Apparently that is a thing.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the latest trend in men's facial hair, and spoiler alert, this is not it. We're going to talk about the biggest possible sphincter moment you could ever have in your entire life. Defacing a manatee. And this thing I heard about that supposedly this was supposed to be a sober month.
Yeah, let's get into that right away. So there's this thing called Dry January. Okay, now I had casually heard about this, but the whole idea is that there's this thing called Blackout Wednesday. All right, that occurs in November, and it's the day before Thanksgiving. The idea is that you have to deal with your family all day on Thursday. So you need to get thoroughly smashed the day before. All right? And then we all know that in December, there's a lot of Christmas parties. There's plenty of drinking going on there. You got New Year's. Okay? So between November and December, it's a pretty heavy drinking month. Plus, just in general, it's the season, right? I mean, what is one of the most popular gifts to give people during Christmas? Booze.
Booze.
It's easy. It happens, right? So somebody came up with this idea of Dry January, and it's a voluntary 30-day dry out. But the person that came up with that never thought that we'd be in the middle of a pandemic. All right? And civil upheaval. So, those things and dry just don't go along together. So I would not recommend any of those things if you were, trying to do this. Mike, you have a worry on your face. Something going wrong with the stream? No? Okay, good. All right, good. So yeah, I mean,
no. So
the thought,
like, I remember there was a guy that I used to hang out with that he used to give up drinking for Lent, And I'm like, that is far too long of a time to go without alcohol. That's a detox right there.
Yeah.
Right? So I have
Absolutely.
an issue with that one.
Absolutely.
I don't get it. I couldn't do it. I give him credit. But in his defense, for the other parts of the year, he was pretty much inebriated the entire time. So he looked at it as liver therapy.
Yeah.
Not so much giving up something for Lent. It was an excuse to give his liver a chance to regenerate.
Yeah. Because supposedly that works. I don't think that works the way he thinks it works. I have a feeling it doesn't work that way.
I agree.
Also, January and February, I mean, these are key football times. Why would you want people to say, "Well, don't drink beer in prime beer drinking season"?
It doesn't matter because everybody's drinking those damn seltzer beers anyway.
Oh man, my wife is big into those. But she's tried out just about every one that they have, and she only likes the Coronas and only likes the citrus flavors of the Trulies.
I have heard the Coronas are probably the best tasting ones. I personally do not like seltzer to begin with.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I did have a 6-pack of Yingling Flight, which is Yingling's version of Michelob Ultra, which, when it comes down to it, is pretty much unflavored. It's beer-flavored seltzer.
Mm.
Sorry, that was my ringtone, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to step away and listen to that voicemail, but
okay,
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
All right. No problem. So, yeah.
I don't keep eating anything, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Colin, you're drinking like, ancient ale, like medieval time stuff.
Yeah, I'm drinking craft meads, which are kind of beer-like versions of meads, not the wine-like meads. They come from Vermont.
Yeah, so you're just I don't know.
Which is interesting. I was looking up where you can get that, and it's like there's this desert where Mike cannot get it.
That is
Mike
correct.
can't get it shipped to him, and he can't buy. But every state around Mike, you can buy it there.
And I don't plan on traveling out of state anytime soon because like going into New York, it cost me $35 in tolls just to get into New York. So it's not cost productive. Pennsylvania, possibly an option. Kim and I were talking about maybe trying to take a day trip out there, but here's the problem. Nobody wants anyone from Jersey to come to them now. There was a point where we were the gold star. You can come in, no quarantine, no nothing. And now they're like, yes, no, you must quarantine for life. So I can't go anywhere.
Nobody wants you, Mike. No, nobody wants you. They look at you and go, no, Jersey. You have to wear a Jersey patch.
I'm like, but I got pork roll. I got pork roll. And they're like, no, turn around, go home.
No, they don't care about your pork roll. They think your pork roll is infected.
And when I first mentioned that, Mike, I was thinking like the next time you were traveling up north or something, not, going somewhere just to pick up some meat.
Yeah, and no, that makes perfect sense. The problem is, we were talking about trying to do a trip in the spring up to see her dad, but a lot of that is going to depend on what the quarantine requirements are. Now, granted, we get up there, we don't go anywhere, so it's like we're self-quarantining anyway. But
that's right.
Yep.
It's just at the rest stops going through. I don't know. I mean, I would hope there's not going to be an issue, but if New Hampshire, I can't get off the interstate to go to the liquor outlet, there's no point. So.
Okay. Well, see, around here, I know a big chunk of my family is going to be vaccinated for COVID here in the next couple of weeks. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be open up for me to get it. I'm planning to begin vacationing again in April.
Yeah, I think.
And then I have a cruise at the in September.
Yeah, I don't know. They say that it should get around to us sometime in the summer. I think, maybe spring or summer, but it's going to be a while. But there's been a real slowdown in the distribution of the vaccine. But there's also been a big hesitation in people taking the vaccine. So I don't know. We'll see.
We were just talking about the vaccine with family today. Like, for some reason, all right. So I was running a couple of errands with my mother today, and she's in her 70s, as is my stepfather, who, by the way, was able to walk down the steps today. Yay! Mm-hmm. So my whole thought here, like, I would have thought they would have been jumping at the chance. I was ready to help her sign up to get notified when they can get the vaccine. We don't know if we want to get it. Meanwhile, Kim and I both, Kim is already signed up in queue, so they'll let her know, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, she'll get an appointment. How she got rated ahead of me in the groupings, I don't know. But she did. I am not eligible yet. However, I am still going to go and get the vaccine when I am eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The issue here is the online scheduling system. Apparently, it takes... they're booking out like a month right now. There are no appointments at any of the sites. To get your appointment is ridiculous. And this is where I get pissed off, because it always degrades into a political talking point. It's not that our governor is not the system can't handle it and our governor's not doing anything to step it up. It's because the federal government has not released enough and has not brought into a whole lot or has not ramped up production. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the data in New Jersey shows they have only used 27% of the vaccines on hand. And even if they ramped up to their best 7-day average, they would not hit 1 million doses in 3 months, which is what they have on hand, ish. So of course.
There's definitely a problem with the distribution. Yeah.
Of course, that's why she rated higher. She's needed. Somehow, the animals.
Yeah.
How to say?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Kimberly's Council of Groundhogs got together and influenced the vote here. Obviously,
she must have been in cahoots with China.
Of course.
So, but yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it as, if I don't rush out and get the virus or get the vaccine, that's the longer I get to work at home. That's one more excuse I have to continue working from home. So I'm going to hold off a while longer. I'll just, I'll let other people get in front of me. I'm a very giving person that way. I really like working from home. So I will, I get all those elderly people, get all the hospital workers, get all the policemen, everybody, everybody. Oh, people with young kids. Yeah, they need it. They didn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah. It's just me and the wife here. I'm good. I can go dead last. As long as I work from home, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Really happy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I fall into 1C. So, that's why that's the one I'm looking for, and I'm going to be getting vaccination as soon as I possibly can.
They can put me in 99Z. I'm okay.
But you said 1C in according to Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm in 1C in Jersey, and there was a whole big thing in Jersey because they, without saying they moved on to phase 1B, that's pretty much what they did. They said that anyone 65 and older is now eligible. Okay, it was just 1A was healthcare workers, long-term care facilities, basically. Okay. Now anyone over 65, pre-existing conditions. So I got to see if I can pull this up real quick because I'd like to play a game.
Okay.
Regarding this, it's a game we're all kind of familiar with, which is one of these things is not like the other.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh wait, here we go. Let me just Google it here. New Jersey COVID vaccine categories. All right, because 1B there's big jump, and I want you guys to tell me which one of these is not.
Okay.
When the website comes up, because apparently the website is crashing. Here we go. Okay, 1B.
If you have cancer, chronic kidney disease, COPD, Down syndrome, heart conditions such as heart failure, coronary artery disease, or cardiomyopathy, obesity, severe obesity, sickle cell disease, smoking, or type 2 diabetes.
So, which one of these things is not like the other?
Smoking?
Yes.
Well,
because apparently
one of
sucking
these
on cancer
things-
sticks.
One of these things is like the other. Why did they have to separate out obesity and severe obesity? If you have severe obesity, you also have obesity. They don't need to put both of those there and make us feel really bad. They could have just said, hey, fat ass, you have a pre-existing condition. Hey, chubby, you're not big boned, you're just fat. Bones don't weigh that much.
Oh, what I find interesting is that every time that I look at stats, they're trying to guess how many people match in each different category. 1C is by far the biggest category. It's like phase 2 is a smaller number of people than exist in phase 1C.
Yeah. Well, here, other essential workers are 1C. Well, can't you say that you're an essential worker, Mike?
I am an essential worker.
You know?
No, I am an essential worker. That's why I'm in 1C.
So here in Illinois, 1B was 65 and older and frontline essential workers like police, postal service workers, grocery store baggers and stuff. You know, people who already were considered essential and are still, out there where people are. 1C is where they put all the medical stuff in Illinois. So that seems to be one difference between Jersey and Illinois.
Yeah, the one difference, because, there's not a whole bunch of differences between our states. I mean, we're California East. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cancer, which was on that list, Mike, one of your childhood heroes was recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
Childhood heroes. Need I remind you that he was the SOB that canceled on us because of a couple of snowflakes? I was supposed to have a VIP meet and greet with this guy, and my dreams were crushed.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't change that he was one of the people that you wouldn't have gotten the VIP ticket in the backstage and everything if you hadn't, idolized him in the first place. It doesn't change the fact.
Not entirely true. It's just okay. All right, fair enough. I know where you're going with this, but okay. And I don't wish hateful stuff on anyone like this, but yes, Dustin Diamond, a.k.a. Screech from Saved by the Bell. I bet Mario Lopez feels terrible about not asking him to be part of the revival now.
Yep.
But he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer of about 18 different things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which makes sense in stage 4.
So apparently he started chemo, and I haven't seen any kind of updates as to whether he is doing better or worse, but hopefully,
yeah.
Screech, we're pulling for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. But yeah, it is, I don't know. He's just kind of a weird guy. I mean, he lost his house, then he was selling T-shirts, then he didn't get enough for the house, and then didn't he make a porno?
He did a sex tape, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know that
was around, I think it was around the same time that China from the WWF made a sex tape, and I don't know, maybe that, it's one of those, that section, fetish porn-ish stuff, I don't know.
Yeah. In a way, of sort of the second sex tape from Saved by the Bell.
Well, yeah, and
Showgirls being the first.
And then he was supposed to wrestle somebody, and then he was going to do boxing. Yeah. I mean, he just had an odd career. I mean, the closest guy I could probably came up with is like Shia LaBeouf, right? They're very parallel.
He's another one because now he's been blacklisted.
Yeah.
His career is over. He's hanging out with Emilio Estevez selling tiger blood, for God's sakes. I mean,
boy, when they hit the skids, they really hit the skids hard.
And Shia LaBeouf, this is the problem. He's always been a little weird, right? But the fact that he was accused of like going and hunting stray dogs by his ex-girlfriend. Now we have gone into, like, you can't make that kind of thing up.
No, that's why it has to be true.
Yeah, so that really, really concerns me. And I found this all went down like a week after I finally broke down and watched The Peanut Butter Falcon, which was a great movie. But not because of Shia LaBeouf, because of the entire cast. It just worked well together. And now, like I'm watching, after all of this went down, I was watching Fury, with the tank movie with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
World War One, World War Two. Anyway.
World War II.
Two, yeah. And Shia LaBeouf was in that. And I'm thinking to myself, the whole cancel culture thing is really getting out of hand. And I wonder if movies like this one, like if Shia LaBeouf gets blacklisted that bad and all of this stuff against him is true, will they stop showing these movies that he is in? Or are they going to try and figure out a way to edit him out? AKA get rid of Trump in Home Alone 2. Which the best suggestion I've had so far was to superimpose and turn Trump into the present day Macaulay Culkin, 40-year-old Macaulay Culkin, so that young Kevin meets old Kevin, and that would cause the universe to implode. So, but I like that idea out of all of them.
Yeah, real short on that, I'll just say the fact that the director of the movie is like, we didn't want him there in the first place, but he forced himself onto the movie, otherwise we couldn't shoot it at his hotel. So I'm like, okay, well, if the director doesn't care, I'm not going to yell about it. If removing him from the movie and the original director is like, no, we don't want to do that, that's our thing. But to your actual thing, Mike, I'd say a movie like Fury is not going to be an issue because that's a war movie in and of itself. Is kind of tends to be canceled by that kind of side of the country anyway. They're not going to watch it in the first place, so it doesn't matter. But
No,
if
it's
Shia was like in a rom-com, for example, that rom-com's probably canceled. I don't even know if he is in a rom-com, just saying hypothetically.
So is this finally going to be the excuse to cancel the first 2 Transformers movies?
Oh, I don't know.
Or was Shia in all 3? Michael Bay movies. I don't remember if he was in all 3 or not. See? That could work.
It could.
Yeah.
That absolutely could work. I don't like the fact that Macaulay Culkin has painted fingernails. That does disturb me a little bit. And that is not a gender issue for me. I just do not like when dudes decide, hey, I'm going to paint my fingernails for no friggin' reason. It disturbs me.
Yeah, and if you're going to paint them, they should be black, like death metal people did. You know?
Yes.
Ozzy did it first.
Exactly.
Ozzy did it best.
I would say if they were going to go to the trouble of making the nails look good, then I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's when they have standard male style, mostly chewed off nails with like a little patch of color. They just kind of plop there in the middle. You just look at it going, what is that? It looks like you're trying to. You got your makeup tits from watching Jack Nicholson in the first Batman movie.
And listen, like I said, I'm trying to be gender sensitive to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't understand it completely, but I will go with it. I just need some kind of Venn diagram about which pronouns and sexual orientation and identifiers are attracted to which body parts.
Okay,
because
hold
I can't
on.
even say men or women, because you could have a male with a penis that identifies as a female but is attracted to females. You know, we need this kind. I need some kind of color code, or can we put them in? Can we bucketize like 1A, 1B?
Don't you put baby in a corner?
I ain't putting baby in nothing. It's a circle because a circle represents everything, and is all inclusive.
Don't you put no jerk in a circle?
Except to those outside of the circle, and those outside of the circle the circle protects us because they are evil.
What about a square? Huh? You being squarist now?
Square has corners, and you just said we can't put baby in a corner. Inevitably, someone will wind up in a corner if we're in a square.
What about an octagon? Octagon ain't got no corners, just angles.
That's patented and trademarked by the UFC. We can't use it.
Pentagon.
It has more corners.
Here, I got.
Make everything round, and you're good.
I found something for you, Mike. You'll like this. Here, watch. This is potential replacements for Trump. All right.
I don't care. I don't want. Go ahead.
These are all potential replacements. Jabba the
don't
Hutt.
play sound. Jabba the Hutt. Okay.
Dolly Parton.
No. Yes, 40-year-old Macaulay Culkin. Yes. That's a little creepy.
That's a bad one.
That one looked like
That's a really bad
meth
one.
head.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin. I don't
It's
like
just Invisible Man. just invisible.
No, that's the Predator.
Oh, that's the Predator. Okay. That's Biden. Yeah.
No. Absolutely not. We're trying to get away from political stuff here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So anyway, but yeah, that was the.
But see,
I don't
here's
know.
the problem, though. Back then, when the movie was made, this was not. Nobody cared.
Yeah, it
They
didn't
thought
matter.
It was great that Trump was in it.
Oh, here I know.
I mean,
Was that RuPaul? I don't know. It could be RuPaul, could not be RuPaul. Who knows? Oh, Carrot. Yeah. Now we're going a bit. Now we're going just animated. What? We're going Stalin? No, I don't think we need Stalin to give him.
no, they're saying editing out is very.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's something
It's
Stalin
something
did.
Stalin would do. That's yeah.
Okay. Oh, and now
that's
they're
the
saying
political talk for this evening.
they're saying he was in Sex and the City as well. Should we get him out of there? Should we take him out of all films?
He was in New York. Fine. He shows up when people are in New York. I don't see any point in modifying old movies. It's just going to annoy. All you're going to do is annoy people, and everybody else is just not going to care.
Yeah.
So after Fury, on I think it was FX, they were playing the movie called "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Oh yes,
George Clooney movie.
That's the Colin
right?
brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And before the movie, flashed up a warning stating that there may be inappropriate stereotypes and other insensitive or basically, folks, we know it's not PC, but we can't edit it out. You've been warned.
Yeah. Gone too far,
Okay.
Mike. Gone too far.
You know what happens when you go too far? You fall off the edge of the earth.
You do. You do, because, and this takes us to a point where we want to talk about an interview request that we got. Okay, normally, the way this industry works is you go out after people that...
Industry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is. Hey, Joe Rogan got a big payday. It's not turning out so well for Spotify, but, he got a big payday for it. The way this works is we go after people to interview, right? We beg, borrow, and make deals to have them on the show, and usually it always fails. I mean, we couldn't get Gary Busey. We can't get a lot of people, but we try. For the first time in history, all right, we had somebody initiate an interview with us. They wanted us to interview them.
Yes.
Okay?
They approached us and saying, hey, would you want to interview me?
Yeah. And at first, I was astonished. I was amazed. I'm like, the email address is on the site, but who goes to the site? Who says, hey, these three guys, they're going to get my message. They're my people. Their audience knows me. What kind of person do you think looks at us three collectively and says, these guys are the ones for me to spread my news, for me to get my message out? Yeah, we would think drug addicts, right? Meth heads.
People who think that Harold and Kumar was a documentary.
Yeah, Or people who are trying to get their movies seen. People who want to create a cult classic movie. That's the kind of people we would, honestly, Screaming Monkey Media, is that who he did an interview with at one point, remember? Or like Three Apes Media or something like that? I don't remember. But,
it was something.
B-rate movie directors. That's who we are used to talking to. But no, the man who approached us to do an interview with him was a flat earth person who had done several interviews before with other shows and referenced them in his letter to us, asking us if we would be interested in having him on the show to discuss flat earth and why everyone is keeping the secret that the earth is flat and trying to control the public, making them think that it's round, spherical even. And so I never do anything in a vacuum. I always send it out to the group to go, hey guys, what do you think about this? Because in my mind, I'm a man of two minds, right? On the one hand, I go, hey, there's some people out there. We used to know some people who were the conspiracy theory, the ghost hunters, the Area 51ers, right? And as we've seen in recent weeks, there's a lot of people that are easily influenced and believes all these hoaxes and everything else. I mean, and then there's the other side of my brain that goes, that might insult the current people, and that might not work. That might make people mad that you currently have. Plus, how the heck are you going to talk to this person? You don't believe what he's saying.
So here's the issue, right? He's throwing out names of other podcasts that he's been on.
Right. Decidedly, by the way, all of them, I don't know if you guys listen to them, but I listen to them a little bit. Decidedly podcasts in the same genre as him, right? Podcasts which talk about conspiracy theories. Podcasts that talk about flat earth. Podcasts that talk about government, intervention. We don't do that.
No. So,
at least not seriously.
And I'm curious, I kind of wanted to pass him along to our good friend Big Sal, who is on a podcast called The Conspiracy Horseman. Seems like that would be a perfect fit, not us reviewing bad movies.
Yeah.
But I went through and I watched a couple of clips, the 4-minute trailer. And for the record, before I watched any of it, my first response I responded back right away. I said, absolutely not. We are not. No, I refuse. If you want to interview him, he can have my corner because I'm not coming in that night.
Yeah.
In fact, you can have the entire half.
Yeah. And it should be you and him.
And like I said, I was of two minds, but the mind that said, you can't talk to this guy because you're either going to offend him majorly or just sit there blankly for 15 minutes, which is all the time he was ever going to get.
The scarier part is that it was going to turn into like the Chewbacca defense, where I'm just going to be like, well, wait a minute. I have no way to counter what you just said. Therefore, it must be true. And suddenly, my brain would it'd be like,
yeah.
Let me put my brain in a jar over here because I'm useless now.
Yeah. Because you can't counter the stuff people just say. It's like when your parents said, because I said so. That's not an answer.
There are entire YouTube channels dedicated to debunking flat earthers.
Yeah.
And they work very, very hard on those channels because they are dealing. Well, what they like to do is they go and they do an effect on the original videos they're showing of the flat earthers to make them all clowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
you cannot treat them seriously. You have to treat them like they are.
Yeah,
which they are clowns.
And we don't do that. We're not a prank show. We're not a make fun of people show. We don't look down. I mean, if we make fun of somebody, it's in good fun, right? I mean, we're equal opportunity here. We don't look anybody, and say, ha ha ha, it's all on you. You're terrible, and you're always going to be terrible, and you should kill yourself. I mean, we don't do that. We couldn't live with ourselves if we did that. So.
No, I'm not going to laugh at a flat earther. They're obviously mentally ill.
Yeah.
They need help. They don't need me laughing at them.
No. Nor do I necessarily want to be associated with them in any way, shape, or
that's
form.
The bigger thing. Do not in any way want to be associated.
No, and that's exactly why I said absolutely not.
It's but I thought, I'm like, oh, well, just the fact that somebody wanted us to interview them makes for a good show topic, because the mind of a person who thinks these three will obviously want to hear what I have to say is just crazy cuckoo bananas.
Yes. And for anybody who's thinking about that in the future, just understand, I will watch SpaceX videos over and over on a loop. I am a huge proponent of the space program.
Well, I mean, let's just say that, for instance, he hadn't actually listened to the show. Because I don't see how you could actually listen to our show and think...
No, he was just carpet bombing.
Right, he was. So, but even carpet bombing, you should at least read the titles of the last shows. So let's just go from, say, August, the show titles, and see if any of these equate to anything flat Earth, all right? So starting August 3rd, your whiskey-fueled comedy relief. The 17th, it's time to just chill. 31st, hasn't 2020 gotten canceled yet? All election all the time. Presidential debate or preschool, you be the judge. Wait, it's Thursday, what are you doing live? It's getting spooky around here. I'm your president now. Not intended for individual resale. Cramming for Christmas. And all hot and buttered. So...
I'm actually curious if this is somebody that Five Hit Dune would want to discuss on his show, because I believe he co-hosts along with Mr. Johnny Gators, and I would tune in 100% just to hear Johnny Gators go off on this flat earther guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to say the least. Let me see here. No, I don't think it is.
And by the way, I am quite impressed. I looked it up. The production company was Flying Gorilla.
Okay.
I'm impressed that you remembered that, because someone was the name of the web series, and I believe it came out a decade ago.
Well, every once in a while I get one lucky. So,
and now I don't believe it is. That's the problem. Sorry, Dune. I was trying to see. And do you have reception in your bunker? That's the other question.
Actually,
I asked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did. Let's see here. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can get that in there. Well, maybe. Let's see here. USB. Okay, there. Now let's see what we can do.
Yes. One of our favorite bits, for those who haven't been watching us for a while, watching Shaggy try to figure out how to make a computer do something.
Yes.
Without breaking the entire show.
Oh, it is not possible. I can tell you that right now. Nope.
Okay. Sorry.
Nope. It's okay.
Dude, we will just pass this guy's information along to you.
Ooh, because I don't think I can add another
and
one.
you can do with it whatever you choose.
Yeah. Yep. Oh. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we'll send it right along, because that is more up Dune's alley.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, Dune from a former life of ours. So, all right. We're 45 minutes into the show, Mike, and we haven't had a decent beverage yet.
Well, you may have heard me crack open my another can of my Bradley Beach Winter Friend, because right about now, couldn't we all use a friend?
We could. So let's try going to the bar.
Coming up, H can get to the bar. Can't get the phone working.
Okie dokie.
He's at the bar. Whoa!
Can you actually hear me this time?
And I see Aviation Gin. What's up with that?
Yes, Aviation Gin, because tonight we're actually making a brand new cocktail. So this one you won't find in the books, because I took an existing cocktail, modified it a little bit, And that's what we're going to have. So, it took a lot of experimenting and trial and error, and this is what I came up with. So, we're calling this a flight to Hawaii.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
need a couple of things out of the fridge. Pineapple juice and orange juice, along with ice.
We could save time with pineapple orange juice.
Huh?
I said
love
you
how
could save some
Shane
time and
has
just buy some
giant-
pineapple orange juice.
I love how you have giant Ziploc bags of ice. That I love that.
Well, this ice maker doesn't actually work. So the first thing you do, fill your shaker up halfway with ice. And then this recipe is actually very easy. So, 2 shots OJ. And then 2 shots pineapple juice. Which, by the way, if you're mixing cocktails at home, I recommend these little cans. It'll keep you from throwing away a ton of extras. Then, 1 shot aviation gin. A 1/4 shot coconut rum. This is very strong, so not too much, just a splash. A 1/2 shot of mango rum. You can go more, you can go less. And then a shot of Cointreau. Put on your top, shake. Pour into a martini glass. And there you go.
I now understand why you said taste testing was. Yeah.
Well, that is a lot more than that stuff you made a couple weeks ago, where you just poured half the bar into a cup.
Yeah, well, you have to try things. So,
Oh Lord.
but this is good. It's actually really good. So, Colin,
That's,
you trying anything tonight?
No, that's I've had too many problems with my neck, so I'm on medication, and I'm not mixing things.
Oh, liquor and painkillers work great.
Yeah, no.
All right.
So says Charlie Harper too.
All right. Well, now back to the show.
And nothing's
You
in the
forgot to push
control
the
room,
button.
but that's okay. Okay, that's cool. Too drunk, he forgot to push the button. He's going to get back to his desk and he's going to push the button then, but he's already going to be at the desk. I see a popcorn maker. I want to know when we're going to get popcorn.
Yeah.
Or cotton candy. I see popcorn maker. We still see the bar.
Sorry.
Toaster oven, a blender. Ah, he's back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back. It's not a toaster oven. That's a pizza oven. That's actually a Red Baron pizza oven, or a Tombstone pizza oven.
Okay.
Yes.
It was removed from one of the local grocery stores before they closed.
He's had that thing about as long as I've known him. I mean, longer than I've known him, probably.
I think it's probably
Really?
35 years old. Yep. But makes a great frozen pizza. You just need a dedicated circuit. Because it'll blow a circuit in a minute.
See, I've gotten back to the stupid Amazon buying again. I bought a pizza screen for $3 because it was a deal of the day. And I was like, oh, well, yes, I need this because I have a problem where my pizza crust doesn't get crispy. This is perfect. I need this. And they shipped it a 16-inch pizza screen, okay, which basically is just wire mesh, 16 inches around. They shipped it in a box about as big as that box with my air filters in it for the furnace and 17 yards of brown craft paper crumbled up to keep the thing from flipping around in said giant box.
Yep. I ordered more cider from New York, and the same thing. I have so much, like craft paper that they use to bundle it in.
Also, when I order my mead, it comes in a very nicely designed box that just has extra thick pieces of cardboard on top. I got that down pretty good.
Yeah. But
that's interesting. I know the meadery that I buy from has only been shipping, nationwide for about a year now. So it's interesting that they seem to be better at it.
Okay, I'm not sure. Is this because
what do you mean?
our biggest fan is criticizing the bar segment? What Mama Blair?
What? Don't you like a good drink? That was a lot of research that went into making this drink.
Mama Blair, come on.
Trust me.
Thank you for listening. But
My wife and I drank a lot last night. I had to make 8 of these things.
You know what you should get? You should get one of those. I saw it popped up in my news feed the other day. It's like a double-walled aluminum growler, but now they make a draft top for it, so you can use a CO2 injector to pressurize and just dispense. You should just, if you're gonna make drinks like that,
well, yeah,
for
but
the entire
you can't.
family for the night, you should just get one of those.
Well, yeah, but see, the thing is, when I was experimenting last night, I was playing around with, okay, how much of this versus how much of that, and what if I substitute this instead, and so I was really, it's just like any recipe. I was just trying different things out because the first recipe I had called for a whole ounce of coconut rum. Oh, it was like you were eating a coconut. That's oh man, it was so overpowering.
Yeah, I'll say that drink was interesting. I will give that drink being interesting.
I still need to. Now I got to look for mango rum because I'm like,
yeah, that's Parrot Bay. It's actually pretty good.
as it is, I got all this freaking cheap ass flavored whiskey I got to get through. So starting next show, I'll be back on the whiskey train.
Well, we
Mark
went
your
to
calendars, folks.
We went to the liquor store yesterday. I bought peach rum, coconut rum. I bought peach brandy. No, pineapple rum, coconut rum, peach brandy. I also bought I think like a bunch of different seltzers for the wife, and yeah, the only thing I didn't get that I meant to get was a bottle of triple sec. I need to get one of those because I keep using the Cointreau, and that's a lot more expensive than triple sec. So
yes, it is.
But good. No, yeah, I had a lot of these. Last night. But this is by far the best version of that recipe. What's going on, Mike? Is there somebody? Do you have a clogging problem?
No, I have a dog chewing on a bone problem. Apparently.
Oh, okay. Have you've seen those commercials, right?
Yes, the clogging problem and the fencing problem.
And now there's a problem with the pipes. Did you see that?
I
with the
just
Piper
saw that
one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a new one.
That one I actually. Okay.
I kept thinking, and I'm like, what else are they going to do? What else are they going to... Come on, give me another pun. I need a new pun.
An ant problem?
Yep, the ant problem was good. But what's going to be the next one? I have no idea what the next one's going to be.
I don't know.
Wow.
I actually don't know what one you're talking about because I rarely watch commercials. So.
Nah.
Well, aren't you?
When they commercial before.
Oh, but we should talk about the Discovery Plus started, right? In between our last show and this one. And I actually signed up, and I'm a little pissed off about it.
Why?
Okay.
No live. There's no option to watch any of their channels live. And their shows aren't up to date. Not all of them. So, because the big reason why I got it was because I'm like, oh, if they do this and they show live, or if they show, or if at least they're up to date, then I can cancel Dish. I can just completely get rid of it. This will be awesome. But because my wife watches Cooking TV, Food Network, mostly, and then she watches Hallmark, which I can get the Hallmark channel. So on streaming, that's not a problem. And, I've got all of the Murder, She Wrote, Matlocks, and Perry Masons, so she can just watch those on a loop. I don't care. But she wants to watch all the Food Network stuff. Well, there's no way for me to do that. So I'm like, oh, great, Discovery. This is perfect, because then I don't miss out on my Discovery shows that I actually like, and the HGTV stuff, because she liked watching Fixer Upper and some of that crap too. And we actually like Log Cabin Living and Going RV and some of that stuff just to kind of mix it up a little bit. And I'm like, oh, cool. All this is on Discovery Plus. So if they stream it live, then I can get rid of Dish completely. But they don't. It's not live and it's not up to date. Pioneer Woman is like 25 episodes behind. And my wife's like, no, that's not going to work. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not going to work?
Kind of like BattleBots. They've been putting BattleBots up there like before it shows live.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not. I think it depends on the show, because it's not every show. Every show is not up to date, which really pisses me off.
What I got all about was I just happened to be flipping through the channels this past weekend, and I look on Channel 2, Star Trek Discovery. What? Apparently, CBS has started putting the first season of Star Trek Discovery on broadcast now. So, yes, right. I believe I'm 2 seasons behind, but I'm finally watching it.
Mm.
Oh, good. They since they were low on content because nothing could be shot in Hollywood, they came up with the idea to put Discovery up.
Well, and honestly, I think that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
Especially on that interval, all right? 2 years, people who are fans of the show are not going to wait.
No, and that is
2 years and say, "Oh, I'll save the money, so I'll know what happens. 2 years from now." No, but you're right. If as a content filler, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, because they're just. It just makes sense to bring it. You've gotten your money's worth out of the streaming side of it, so why not bring it to broadcast? A couple of years later.
Yes.
It just from a programming perspective, it does make sense. So I completely understand.
Check. Have you looked at like YouTube TV?
No, I haven't. But I'll tell you what, boy, I've gotten the wife into watching the Tri Channel. After we started it, we'd tune into church on Sunday, but it'd be like way early for church. And so I'm like, okay, what am I going to do to fill time? Oh, here, you might like this. It's Irish people drinking whatever, and they're just funny and silly. And so now she's like really into it. She's like, well, have those Irish people done anything new? And so I'll go and I'll bring up the Tri Channel and we'll just watch them, you know, which is, it's great when I can get her interested in things that I like, because it's pretty few and far between. But like the Tri Channel, that's something she finds funny. But I swear, though, every time we watch a video, she's like, I've never seen him before. I've never seen her before. And I'm like, they were literally in the last video we just watched. But whatever. I'm like, she's not wearing glasses this time. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah.
But my point was, I mean, have you looked at getting rid of Dish and replacing it with YouTube TV or Hulu TV or?
Well, see, I have Hulu because I have Spotify, but they don't have a way for me to upgrade my Hulu to like the premium Hulu because I'm getting it free.
Right.
And I haven't looked into YouTube TV, but I have thought about, because when I watch YouTube on the television, there's so many commercials. God, there's 10 times more commercials than when I watch it on my computer. And I don't know if that's because of a plugin I have installed on my computer or what, but good God, the commercials are ridiculous.
Well, that's a separate thing. So what you're talking about there is YouTube Premium, which gives you the ability to not have commercials on YouTube. But that's separate from YouTube TV.
Okay.
They're different services. So YouTube TV is just like Dish Network, except it's YouTube TV instead.
Okay. So what is YouTube TV? So first of all, does it work on a Roku? Oh, it does look like it works on a Roku, because she loves the Roku. And by the way, I finally replaced my television downstairs. It actually came up because it was we got to be bigger and better than my parents. We're still not bigger and better than my parents, but, you know, I had to go over and help my dad. My dad got a TV from a buddy of his. They went from a 42-inch to a 70-inch. Just pretty freaking ridiculous. And, you know, so I went from a 47 to a 55, because that's what I had here, because it had been in the box for like almost a year now. But you know, now it's got built-in Roku and everything, and I finally have my wires and stuff ran the way that I want them to. The only issue that I have is that the Nintendo Wii can't hook up to the TV anymore. Because I now have a Roku TV, it does not have a component input. It's only got HDMI and composite. It doesn't have the red, green, blue input type. It only has the yellow, red, white. So I could either convert my...
You
Thank
are
you, Mama
getting
Blair.
Slammed.
I
by
know,
Mama
she's
Blair
just being
tonight.
relentless
What is going
tonight.
on? Wow.
I know.
She's just like,
I can't do anything right for the Blairs. No, geez, man, it's tough.
So there is a Wii to HDMI converter.
There is,
available.
but it still only goes to 480p. And it's not a guarantee
Well,
that
yeah,
your TV will show 480p. It depends on the television whether it actually supports 480p on the screen, if it'll downscale that far.
Oh, really? So they're
Yeah.
not. Oh, this is news to me that TVs are not supporting 480p anymore.
Yeah, depending upon how new the TV is, it may not scale to anything lower than 720p. Possibly. That's what I read on a lot of those products, was that, you know, they don't that they may not be supported by your television. And then you got to buy a HDMI scaler and blah, 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 and it's a pain in the ass. So
Okay, yeah, that's when it gets all right.
yeah, so I was thinking, I'm like, does this mean that I need to go buy a Switch? Not that I ever play the Wii anyway, but does this mean that there's a reason to buy a Switch?
The answer is that you can actually emulate the Wii on your PC very easily.
Yeah, I know that. I know I can. I have, and I do have my video game machine now hooked up, and it's actually emulating. I love emulating like old school Nintendo. It's actually, I don't want to play the new Nintendo anyway. I just like playing the old school stuff. And I actually found, this is sad. So I've started earmarking games as like my top 100 games that I like to play. And, you know, I don't want anything fancy. So I've got Commander Keen. I've got the original Super Mario Brothers. I've got Mrs. Pac-Man. And then I've got one called Strip Fighter, which is a Japanese clone of Street Fighter, except for they're all women. And on one of them, the girl twirls around and her boobs come out and smacks the other person in the face.
Mama Blair.
Because it's me.
Now understand.
Because it's me.
Now understand. I get it. This is why he's being banished. I'm with you now.
So,
you know, like I was looking out there, and I still have my PlayStation 2 hooked up. I haven't played it in probably at least 5 years or more.
Yeah, I sold mine a long time ago.
The only and this was the second edition, the slim version.
Oh yeah.
So it's literally about the size of a DVD case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only games that I really played on it, I played Def Jam Fight for New York because it had every rapper in existence in like in a fighting style game. A couple of the Need for Speeds, and Ace Combat.
The only
aerial fighting game.
The only game I ever played was SSX Tricky. That was the only one I ever played.
That was a good game.
I think I had that was snowboarding, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I had that for PlayStation 1. But I don't like even some of the games that I played online. Yep, they're gone. Thanks, Flash. Bye. Gone.
Yeah. It's
I just didn't get into it. I had a Wii. I sold it to a buddy of mine who his broke and his daughters were like all brokenhearted because they loved the game. I said, dude, I'm not even playing it. You want it? Here.
Yeah.
There's my GameCube controller. Right here. Because it's actually plugged into my computer.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
if
I got like a controller, I think Kim would lose her mind on me because like I play stupid games on my phone too.
Well, yeah. And I actually I just play. You know, like I said, I play all the old games. I play all the old left to right scrollers where I can't get lost, or I play racing games because I will get lost in a 3D world. I tried to play the original. Not the original, but the Duke Nukem. One of the first Duke Nukems where it was in the 3D world. And I'm like, where the hell am I going? I got myself lost to a point where I couldn't get out. I was stuck in a room. I'm like, no, I don't want this.
You know what I liked? I still have the disc up there for Quake 3 Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was like capture the flag team style fighting. And that was actually the first computer game I ever bought. And I bought it because I knew there was a blizzard coming in that I was going to be stuck in the house for a couple of days. And I knew I had absolutely nothing to do. So, Here we are.
See, the most of those games I ever played was a game called Marathon. That was on the Mac. And I played that game a lot. Of course, I was playing it a lot in school because that's where the Mac was. It was me and my class valedictorian and somebody else in our programming class. We actually, since we...
Yeah, Mama Blair is just, it's no holds barred tonight. She just...
What did you do?
I don't know. I haven't been around. I've been social distancing from the Blairs, and maybe that's it. I don't know.
So, anyway, so our computer science teacher was
drive you to Jersey? I don't know.
I don't know. But
or is this some phase of COVID fatigue where She's lashing out on you because
I don't know. Because she hasn't seen me in long enough. It's been a year, I think, at least, since the last time I saw him.
It might be because you have no eyebrows.
This is what... No, I do. They're just turning gray. They're turning gray. I mean, everything is gray.
I mean, you can clearly see them. You can see I have... Well, no, you can't really see. I have gray all in here. This is embarrassing as hell.
Everything is gray. Everything is gray. I cut my hair, and it's like gray just falls out. And it's just like... I'm like, I don't even care if you turn gray. Just be there. I mean, look. It's ridiculous.
Look.
Yeah, I know. It's all there. It's there, though.
I'm driving around with my mother today, and my little 4'2", 74-year-old mom, she has the audacity to point out to me, as I'm driving her around like Miss Daisy, she has the audacity to point out to me just how gray my beard has gotten. And I said, yes, would you like to know why? And because every single time I have to deal with someone else's bull, another hair turns gray. This time last year, it was jet black. Shall we continue, Mom?
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
I love my mother. But for her to point out how gray I'm getting...
I would almost rather have those conversations, because here's the last conversation I had with my dad, all right? And this was over text. Other than helping him put the TV up, this was the conversation over text that we had. He said, hey, how are you for 9mm ammo? I don't know. I have 7 clips full. Like,
bro,
what? And he's like, well, come by the house and grab a couple boxes just in case. Couple what?
They line up and get numbers like they're freaking concert tickets. Like, remember back in the day when before Ticketmaster, when you can order online, that you had to go and you would get like a wristband and they would call out numbers about who was actually going to get or be able to buy tickets to a concert?
No, because the only time I ever did anything like that, I actually stood in line for 4 hours.
Okay, so, yeah. That's what they're doing with ammo at the local shop. Okay? Ugh. You get wristbands, you get numbers, and they call your number, and they limit them like toilet paper. What is going on here, people? Sorry, we have a limit of 1 box per customer. Let's see. This is not about you, don't worry. Yes, Dad, it's 60 years old. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. My mother just saw me not long ago, and it was the same, if not worse.
Yeah, you hadn't had time to get your Miss Clairol. You know?
You mean my mud? My mud patch?
That's right. Your wife makes you get that all natural stuff.
It's still no, I still have enough to do like 19 treatments.
Well, yeah, but that's why it doesn't work, Mike. It doesn't work.
According to Kim.
Next time, I want you to get a black permanent marker and like squeeze it like a toothpaste tube into that before you put it on your face.
Okay, so 2 things, because we're coming up on the time we got to go to the movie review. First of all, this was supposed to be gone by now. That was... Side note, without going too far down the rabbit hole, Last Man Standing came back, and the way that they facilitated the time jump was awesome, because they did it just via snippets from Mike Baxter's vlogs, or whatever. And it started, and he said, I'm just going to grow out my beard until the lockdown is done. And a couple of months later, it's all out here, and he's like, I could probably play Santa Claus at this point. So, this was supposed to be gone. But now, before it gets shaved, I have a moral imperative for the show to attempt the latest fashion trend. And Shaggy, I hope you'll be able to put this picture up.
This
is the
I have to.
absolute worst. Before you put it up there, yes, I 100% agree. I am not going to use good old Rudolph's brand of dye that permeates from his pores when he starts sweating. The new fashion trend, and this is one that the guys who are doing this are the same guys that I believe are wearing rompers when they go to the beach. Okay?
Yeah,
this is called the monkey's tail. This is quite possibly the most ridiculous facial hair style I have ever seen since the guys who thought they were going to be cute and shaved their facial hair like Wolverine from the first X-Men movie. Okay? No. Yeah, see, this is ridiculous.
Oh.
There is no reason for this on the face of God's green earth. Flat or round.
Well, I will say, I am impressed that somebody came up with something new to do with facial hair.
Correct. Okay, so good potential point here. Let's call, oops, actually, uh-oh. What can I do?
Yeah. Well, okay, is it going to be like the earring thing where if the tail is to one side or the other, it has a meaning?
So that is my other concern with doing this, because you bring up a very good point.
Yeah.
So that picture, put that back up. Put
Okay.
that picture back up.
All right.
Because that picture, you have the monkey's tail going two different ways.
Yeah.
Which one of these guys plays for? Which one of these guys? I don't even know how to say it without being
has more in
the
common.
DC world.
Which one of these guys has more in common with a softball coach than a baseball coach?
Wow,
Oh, that's I'm not sure how to quantify that one.
Which one of them is attracted to someone with the same parts versus different parts? Comment of the night here. And it's not even from Mama Blair. Does that make your ear the monkey's butthole? Wow.
Oh.
Well
But this
played,
is probably
sir.
one of the best pictures of all of them. And is right
I get
here.
Scared anytime he does a lead up like this. This dude.
Well, that's a cat tail.
That's going for the gold.
This dude got into his significant other's mascara.
Yeah, that's definitely no longer a
wow.
monkey tail. That's a cat tail.
That's I've never seen a striped monkey tail like that. So yeah, that's wow. That's a raccoon tail.
And,
That's too narrow. Wow.
This guy.
Look, I did some stupid stuff in my youth. Like I had the lines shaved in my head. This dude is just.
That's more like the psychedelic swirl than the monkey tail.
Oh, all right. So, do you still have? Can you put the side by side back up again one more time?
Yeah. Let me get to it real quick.
Because this is another issue that we may have with it.
Oops.
I don't know if this is gonna come up. So,
Yep.
all right. So, I don't know if
Yep.
So it may not be sexual orientation we're talking about here. according Mama Blair's asking, maybe it shows which way you lean. So one of these guys was was pictured in the White House. One of these guys was not. No,
I'm thinking it's which way you're
going.
I think it's which way you're handed. Right-handed, left-handed.
But which one of these? So I don't know. And again, can we put this in the same PowerPoint deck as the whole gender equality, non-gender, binary, non-binary relationship? I don't know.
Can
we just go to the movies now, please? Because we're going down a rabbit hole that could get me and some guy in trouble with someone.
I don't know. Hold on.
What did you just send us? What was that?
I didn't send nothing.
No, this is just beyond Trey stupid. This is a guy who likes the Saw movies way too much.
What I was gonna say, I was gonna bring up this guy here who got into the markers.
This guy, maybe he did this for Movember.
Could be.
The pink represents specifically he was growing this out for breast cancer research, but therein lies the problem, is the fact that you have to shave in order to achieve the monkey's tail.
And you're not going to tell me that dye isn't going to leave something on his skin. So even if he shaves completely off, he's going to end up with a pink question mark.
No, because the stuff that I used, granted, neon pink does not occur naturally anywhere that I'm aware of that you might be able to buy an organic hair dye. But Cyndi Lauper used to just use food coloring or Kool-Aid or Hawaiian Punch or some ridiculous thing. So
look, even the soulless gingers are getting into it. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Oh my God, now I know what the problem is. Really, dude?
Yeah.
You are getting slammed by Mama Blair all night long, and you go down the ginger road. Wow.
Sorry.
Brilliant, you fool.
Sorry, I didn't
Mama
even
Blair,
think about that.
On behalf of Shaggy, I apologize.
Oh my God! Hold on, Mike. You got to look at this one. This one is, I would say, très magnifique. You
don't have to look at nothing. What is this? This is the one I was saying. This guy is a fan of Jigsaw from the Saw movies.
Yeah. This is just too much.
Well, so she's got a point, Shag.
Yeah. Well, you can't see it through the lush, full locks that they have. So, it could be. Could be. Well, let's put it this way.
Lord.
Kool-Aid stains clothes. Why wouldn't it stain your hair? Why wouldn't it stain your head?
That's what Cyndi Lauper used to use.
Yeah.
She used Kool-Aid. That's how she had all those funky haircuts back in the Goonies days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it was cheap and easy to do. Go ahead.
My sister did the same thing. So
real quick,
Colin,
before we get into our
Saturday.
reviews, I just want to go back real quick and cover something we started to talk about, which was that YouTube TV. So it's like $65 a month. Has pretty much all the channels, and has a DVR that has unlimited recording for 6 months. So basically, you could record everything, and it just after 6 months, it gets deleted.
yeah, that's the only downside. See, because my wife has stuff on the DVR from like 4 years ago. So it means I have to find it and grab it.
Yeah. But it does mean you can grab literally everything. Like, you just want to set the Hallmark channel to just record absolutely everything that happens on the channel.
Yeah.
Then you get 6 months of the Hallmark channel saved up on your DVR. Anyway, just want to finish that off. It's I've been using it now for, I think, at least a year now, and it's been really good.
Yeah.
Now, Hulu's service, on the other
funny.
hand, will let you save for a long time. It doesn't roll off, but it does have a limit to how much you can save.
And by the way, Shaggy, it's funny the way you're coughing like that. I was just thinking about it. A year ago, someone would cough like that, and you could easily just point and joke and be like, "Bitch got the Rona."
Yeah.
Now you do that, and everybody's like, "No."
Well, did you guys see? There's actually a movie about that. What the hell is it?
About what?
There's a pandemic movie.
Yeah, they need to hold off on that. I mean, that's.
It's.
I can't see anybody making money on that right now.
What the hell is it called? Trying to. What's it? Upcoming movie about pandemic. Is it called Songbird? Yeah, it is. It's about COVID-23. Literally, they called it out. COVID-23. Michael Bay did it.
Okay.
And it's coming out this year. A mutated strand of coronavirus called COVID-23 wreaks havoc on the world in the movie Songbird. The first trailer dropped a couple weeks ago, I think. Oh, actually, late in early November. It's a dystopian, scary world, but it's a romantic movie about two people who want to be together, but they can't.
They can't because of social distancing and quarantining.
Well, he has a natural immunity, and she lives with her elderly grandmother who was just diagnosed with it. And there's death squads. Where'd they get that idea from? It's just a weird movie. And yeah, Colin, I think you're right. I think it's a bit, I don't know. I think it's a little, it's a little weird. Yes. I don't know.
So first of all, Michael Bay, I'm getting a little tired of Michael Bay. I'm not going to lie. To make a movie based off of what potentially could be a real thing, COVID-23.
Mm-hmm. Well, it will eventually because we've had coronaviruses for a long time.
Well, and that's my thing. COVID-23 is going to happen. You know this. Mm-hmm. It's just a question of when and how bad it's going to be.
Yeah.
Is it something that flies under the radar? Because look, this COVID-19. This is not the first coronavirus. That's why we're 19.
Yeah.
Hell, cats have had coronavirus since the Dark Ages, for Christ's sake.
There was actually a question. There was actually a question about this latest mutation of it, which has now been found in the States, by the way, about whether that was a true separate new coronavirus or whether it was just a mutation of the original 19. And whether they should actually increment the number.
No.
I'm just saying. There was a question about it.
Doesn't matter because it's all going to go away next week. And on that note,
Mike, I thought it was all going to go away in November, man. And then they said it was all going to go away January 1st. Man, this December sucks.
It's like the Mayans predicting the end of the world, man, and the date just keeps getting pushed out.
Man, where's Nostradamus when you need him? Why didn't he have a calculator?
All of a sudden, hey, man, is that Freedom Rock, man? Well,
yeah, man.
Up, man. All of a sudden, that's going to be that's going to be the side effect of 23, is that everybody is going to talk that way.
Hey,
Woodstock will become another thing. Bell bottoms, all of a sudden. That's how you're going to know. Somebody got bell bottoms on? Bitch got 23. That's how you know.
Well, speaking about talking like that, right?
Wait. Now, hold on. Before I post this one up, I got to go look and see.
Along the lines of talking like that, so I recently had to go see my neurologist for my headaches and for my neck. And I was actually going to ask him about what his thoughts were on medical marijuana because believe it or not, it's easier to get drugs than it is to get pain medication for migraines, because so many people have ruined opioids. So it's exceedingly difficult for me to get the pills that I normally get. And so I was going to ask him about pot. But my wife, voiced an objection to it. And I'm like, okay, well, she's concerned about it. She doesn't want me turning into a pothead, which I understand that as well. So I ended up not asking him about it. I'm like, okay, well, if it's still something in another 6 months when I go to see him, I can ask him about it then. It's not like I can never bring it up. So I got home and she's like, well, did you ask him about the weed? And I'm like, no, you said you weren't interested in me, consuming, doing the pot. So I held off on it. And we just happened to be watching a show. I think it was like I don't know if it was Going RV or it was Alaska or something like that. But they were obviously stoners. And it was like, hey, man. And she's like, I just don't want you to start talking like that. She's like, that's my main concern. I just don't want you to be, high all the time. And I'm like, well, I don't, that's not the purpose, is to be lit all the time. So. But they opened a dispensary down the road from me. So,
Okay, now it makes sense. So, no. The reason why it's called COVID-19 is not because it's 19.
It's because it came out in 2019.
Mama Blair posted this. It's because it came out in it was discovered in 2019. Okay. Now I get it. I thought she was saying because it came out in 2019. I thought she was referring to the movie Songbird, and I'm like, well, no, that came out in December. But so that's what I was looking up. That's why I delayed posting it. But then there's a follow-up that's too long to fit in the thing. If you're following us along on Facebook or watching on Facebook, you would have seen the full comment.
Yeah. No, according to the Doomsday predictions, the next date for the end of the world is 2021, 2026, 2028. And then we got 2029, and then
in 2021.
We don't know exactly. We just say that there's a rapture by 2021 at the latest.
No, this is a problem when they start saying it's going to happen sometime this year.
Well,
I
they say
need to know if it's before or after the tax deadline.
Well, here's what they say. They say the second coming of Jesus is sometime between 2018 and 2028, and the rapture is going to be by 2021 at the latest.
Nope. Now, so let's just back off now, because
all right, now
since you brought in Jesus and the rapture and all of that, can we just go to the movies? Because I'm not going down that road. There are lines I will not cross.
All right,
religion and the rapture. Nope. Sorry.
Okay. So
because I do believe there may be a God, and I am not going to piss him off. I may not believe in him, I may not worship him, but damned if I will piss him off.
You're going to hedge your bets.
Bullshit about the rapture. That's right. Exactly.
That's like, my faith says there is no like pluses and minuses, and there's no like book that says, you have to outdo your sins or anything like that. All you have to do is, but I'm like, listen, if there is a ledger, I would rather err on the side of pluses than minuses. So every opportunity I get, I try to do something good because I know the bad shit I've done. All right. So let's try to earn every point that we can in extra credit. All right.
I am so bad at this point. Kim and I went food shopping at Aldi yesterday, and I was desperately looking for somebody that was going to go get a cart to just give them my cart and say, here you go. Cost me $0.25, but here, please just take the cart. I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the kind of good karma I'm looking for now.
Yeah.
And with that said,
all right. So we have 2 movies for tonight to watch. We have Country Cottage, speaking about a wholesome, film. And then we also have, The Sleepover.
So let's just clarify for those that watched last show. The two movies that we had originally selected were no longer, well, one was no longer available, and the other one we said
Was Obamaland.
we ain't touching with a 30-foot pole.
No, plus I did watch it, and no, you don't want to touch it. I'll just say it's 3 pukes right now. I'm going to tell you that's what it would have been. Okay. It would have been 3 pukes.
Okay.
All right.
Would it have been burn it with fire or just 3 pukes?
It'd have been 2 burn it with fires and 1 puke. That's what it would have been.
Okay.
Actually, it would have probably been you tap out, Mike burn it with fire, me puke.
Okay.
That's what it would have been. I'm telling you right
fair.
now.
That's fair.
You know.
Although I got to be honest, I err toward the side of tapping out at this point because I got way too much stuff to watch.
All right, so the you want to do? It's Cottage Country, not Country Cottage. Cottage Country. So, do we want to do Cottage Country first?
Sure. Let's do it alphabetical order. Let's...
Okay. So, and following with alphabetical order, we'll let Mike go first because Apeman starts with A.
That does not. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we'll Apeman go first.
Go ahead.
For Cottage Country.
Okay. And actually, that works out well because the first movie in the Malin Akerman double feature tonight, after coming to our senses and disqualifying Obamaland, I have relatively low hopes for this movie, mainly due to all the Canadian stuff that flashed during the opening credits. My opening remark has nothing to do with Malin Akerman specifically. I actually like her body of work. This guy, the brother, who shows up unexpectedly at the cottage because he didn't book it on the website, not even going to question it. He is the dollar store Pauly Shore. All right. Just stop the goddamn review right here. Shaggy, put it back to Foursquare for a second, please. I need, because I need your faces on here. This was a pivotal scene in this movie where they discussed the virtues of pornography versus art. And damn it, I need to know what side of this debate you fall on, Shaggy. Because if anybody, you probably fall on the art.
What they were going to do was definitely porn, not art.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised by that. But I also want to know specifically what side of the debate you fall on with the hydraulic anal pumper thing.
No, never hydraulics. Always electric. Much less complications with electric than hydraulic. You just have to watch Junkyard Wars 1 episode to know hydraulics always a problem.
Okay, you can come back to me then.
All right.
Spoiler alert. Don't you just hate when you accidentally kill your brother by hitting him in the head with an axe? Rubber boots with bare legs. That don't work. Ask any Bering Sea crab fisherman. Any liquids just pool up in your boots. You got to have pants on over the rubber boots. I'm very sad, but I know that this Jewish guy he's going to die now. I know it. I told you, they going to disrespect him by singing Hava Nagila instead of giving him some kind of Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Es Shalom prayer. No. That's the vice president who became the president in the day after tomorrow. This guy's a politician's son. They should not have to go through all of this trouble to cover up a death. Just saying. Happened before. She wants to get married in the murder cottage with the murder shed and probably a murder toilet. What the hell's wrong with this woman? Jumping Jehoshaphat, she sleepwalks and talks. This does not bode well for our hero at all, now does it? And here comes the crazy. Never trust a woman in a Ford Taurus because they be crazy as hell. I told you. Crazy as hell. This mofo got shot in the head and lived, but he's 10-second Tom now. What was the point of even showing that? So I was going to give this a meh. But at the very end, when they showed him as 10-second Tom on the dock with his former president dad, I said there was no point for that scene whatsoever. They could have just had the two of them die, Romeo and Juliet style, and that would have been a perfect ending. So instead of a meh, I got to give this a shrug.
All right. Guess Colin, you're up next.
Okay. So Cottage Country, it's one of those movies where you're just kind of yelling at the characters. No! He obviously... So the two brothers are in a fight where one brother is definitely the aggressor. And the aggressor gets, Anyway, point being, all you had to do was call the cops, tell them what happened, and there might have been some things, but he probably could have got away because his brother is skeevy. You get some actual cops there who's going to look at him and say, okay, here's a guy who looks like he has things put together, and here's this woman who he was about to propose to, and you have this guy who looks like he just came out of the dark side. Probably been okay. But, of course, not, because this is a dumb comedy. What much comedy in this movie? It was just mostly annoying watching these characters. I will say I like the ending of this movie. This movie had a good ending where... It's like, okay. I expected just death at the end. This wasn't just death. That actually had some character stuff that made you think about, these characters. That was pretty good. So where's Tyler Labine? If that's how you pronounce his name, I don't know. We've seen him in many movies over the last year, and he always is the Dollar General Jack Black. And he's also, more recently, he's been on New Amsterdam, where he isn't Jack Black anymore. He's doing a good job being his own actor, doing his own stuff. And I liked him in New Amsterdam, but I keep seeing him in these terrible old Jack Black ripoff movies. And I'm like, man, I hope whatever he does with his career, he doesn't just go back to these, because he actually has some acting ability, and he should really stick with that. But for this movie, I'm going to give it, I think, Belch, is that? Verp, whatever that thing is. The less than meh. There you go.
Okay.
So that's actually where I landed with a shrug, was less than meh.
Shrug is less than meh. Yeah, Verp is lower on the scale.
Yeah, slightly lower than shrug.
Okay. So
Slightly lower than shrug.
Okay. All right. My turn here. All right. So I was looking forward to this. All right. I really was, because I'm like, okay, Cottage Country, saw the trailer, thought, okay, this is going to be like a couple's version of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I mean, come on, with that type of lead in, this is going to be funny. It's going to be a good movie. And even starting to watch it, I'm like, okay, look at this here. We're getting some Office Space vibe where we got this lowly guy who gets put on by his boss. Something's going to come of that. It's good. It's good. It's not good. This is not good. Brother shows up smelling like I could smell him through the screen, and he smelled like he looked. Like a sock that had a skunk squirt in it, that then had a roast beef sandwich in it for a month. That was the brother. And, you knew the moment they started fighting, you knew somebody was going to die, and it wasn't going to be the lead character. All right. I agree with everything Colin and Mike said here. This is a cheap ripoff of a Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's not that great. And then the fiance going all psycho and killing the other girl, and this was just a bad movie that was hard to watch, really. The end, driving into the police officer. Why? What'd the police officer do? Killed the dude. Plow into the dude. Don't shoot him in the head. And Mike captured it perfectly. The last 5 minutes of the movie, not needed at all. Scrub them. Your movie would be better if it just fades to black. All right? I don't need to see him in the wheelchair. That's a useless scene that serves no purpose whatsoever. The only way that scene should have been there is if somehow it glanced off of every important part of his head and he was perfectly fine, and the wheelchair was being pushed by like some really cute girl, and he was okay. There wasn't any repercussions from him, right? If he was all awesome and suddenly mom and dad weren't at each other's throats, which, by the way, that was the weirdest dynamic ever. You're going to introduce mom and dad of this doofus, and they're going to be at each other's throats from the beginning, saying that it was the most horrible thing in his entire life. That's what the dad said. It's just not what you picture for people having, a cottage on the lake. No, I didn't like this movie. I'm going to straight up give it a verp because it was so bad. So, no. Cottage Country, stay away from it. It's no good. Watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil. At least you'll laugh your balls off on that one. This one, no, it sucks.
So here's a question. What if they had taken the original beginning of the movie, down through now they've killed several people, I wonder if they had just gone with it, like taken like a Dexter type of thing to it. Because can you imagine that, like, if they pulled it off, they got out scot-free, and the movie ended with them planning the murder of Tyler Levine's boss?
No, I don't. No. I don't think with these characters you could do that.
No, I'm saying the characters would have to be. You would. I'm not. Yeah, you have to get rid of the mother and father part
and the haunting part,
and have the characters themselves change a bit with what they were doing.
I'm with you. I'm with you to a point. Not as far as they start planning the next one. I'm with you. I would have been okay with them going the Dexter path to get through the wedding and get away with it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe a subtle reference, like maybe a flash forward where they're living it full time at the cottage now, and a flash forward, some kind of like inside joke about why their garden grows so well. I'd have been okay with that kind of...
Like a Goodbye Earl reference?
Right. I just say they could have gotten away with it being a dark comedy if they'd done something more like that. I mean, this has turned into a Twilight Zone tragedy thing, and there just wasn't any comedy.
Yeah, I agree. I don't...
I'm glad you agreed with me on the ending, because the ending, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
What is this? What is it? This is like Lord of the Rings stuff. We don't need this ending.
No. It was.
We didn't need the ending, but it was the only thing in the ending that gave me any feeling of character at all.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying there. I'm not saying it was good.
And we actually reviewed a Tyler Labine movie.
Oh, did we?
Back in June. He was in Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah.
And surprisingly, Colin and I both gave that shnikes, and Shaggy gave it an S-eating grin.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good movie. That's why this is compared to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Colin,
that's not
I think there's another Tyler Labine who's done, too.
I like him very much in, like you said, in New Amsterdam. I think he's very, very good in that role.
Yeah.
I'd be curious. I'd have to look and see what else he's done. I do know his face from other movies. So.
Well, yeah, he was actually Dale in Tucker and Dale. So he was the lead character there. So, yeah. Should have been better.
Yeah, alongside,
alongside the guy from
Serenity.
Firefly, yeah.
Anyway.
Whose name is Alan Tudyk. Yeah. Okay. Next movie, The Sleepover on Netflix. By the way, if you do want to make your life worse and watch that's available on Amazon Prime. The Sleepover is available on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. Summary: when two siblings discover their seemingly normal mom is a former thief and witness protection who's been forced to pull one last job, they team up to rescue her over the course of an action-packed night. All right. So with that said, we will go in the same order. Mike.
Okay. Part 2 of the Ackerman double feature. And I'm glad to see that crazy Ackerman carried over from the last movie. That was hot. The dad in the car, he didn't. Hell are those things? I'm glad the kid pointed it out as weird, because I'm like, dude, what is this? He's preparing to crush your head. What? No. There was a line right here that I swear I stored in the memory banks, and I'm going to find a time and place to use it, but you can't just squeeze something and call it nut water. That's downright genius, and I'm going to use it someday. Avocado frosting on the cupcakes. The hell kind of yuppie hell is this? And I know I'm going to catch hell from the Blair Foodies and clan over there, the bakers and stuff. But no, you can take a number and stand with all the Brits over there, because this is bullshit. Don't make avocado frosting. Stay the hell out of my kitchen. Get away from me. Avocado frosting is stupid as hell. Unless you're using it to lubricate your Birkenstocks or something. I digress. I've never snuck out of my house, as the children did there. But I'm pretty sure if I decided to do that, I would not wear all white. That just leads for too many mishap potential questions are going to happen. I don't exactly like the idea of how this movie is turning into a giant Scooby-Doo mystery, where the kids are going to solve it all. Side note, this little Mim girl, she is evil AF. If you don't know what that is, go on Twitter or something. She has the potential, her character, to wind up in a clock tower someday. Just saying. I know how this wound up on the list now, because the lead character, played Kim Possible in the live-action movie, Shaggy. I mean, seriously, do you not understand how much this bothers me that Clancy is wearing all white and hasn't gotten a single stain or mark on her? They snuck through a rusty chain link fence. The ground is wet. That means that the fence was probably wet, and she does not have a mark on her. This is worse than watching a movie where the guy shoots 37 bullets out of a handgun and doesn't reload it once. This is seriously messing with my OCD and bothering me. Okay, at least she changed her jacket. Okay, good. Car is driving by itself, so why would you even bother holding the steering wheel? He's not wrong. He makes a comment about leaving mayonnaise-based dishes out for too long, and guess what? He's not wrong. Quote unquote, what's that thing mom's always saying? The kids reply, stop wiping boogers everywhere. That is some old-fashioned family-type fun. I spit my drink out when the kids said that. That's top-shelf comedy right there. And look at Allergy Boy getting all bougie badass all of a sudden, wanting to sneak through the air vents to get them inside. I do want to know in what world, anyone, what world does a Dodge Grand Caravan keep up with a Porsche? Bueller? Anyone? No. All right, well, look, I'm going to give this one a smile. Good, clean, family fun movie. It was kind of along the lines of Spy Kids without getting too far into the crazy. All in all, it was a pretty good time. I enjoyed it.
All right, Colin.
So what was your score there?
I gave it a smile.
Smile, okay. So yeah, so the short review for this would be not as good as Spy Kids. And then if you project that up, that's basically it. But to be more precise, this movie is the love child of Spy Kids, a little bit of Adventures in Babysitting, and a lot more The Goonies. You put those three things together, that's basically this movie. Mother turns out to have been a thief of the Parker from Leverage variety, and it turns out that her crew has been wanting her back to steal this crown. Where, as far as I can tell, I mean, I'm sure the crown's worth a lot of money, but she seemed to have a lot of extra money just laying around in her storage locker. So they could have just taken the storage locker, been happy. I don't know. The main young brother character was definitely giving me Goonies vibes more than any of the rest of them. But I don't know. I watched this movie. I've seen so many of this type of movie that this movie was just kind of, it was okay. It was definitely better than Meh. But there's nothing about this movie that jumped out at me and said, oh yeah, this is great. This is like a newer version of these other movies that I like, that I can show my nephews and then they'll enjoy this. And then just like I would have enjoyed other things, because there wasn't anything here that felt up to date. So it just felt redundant. But I guess a spark. It is better than Madly.
All right. Oh, and that leaves me then. Okay. First of all, again, I kind of like going last now because I can agree with everybody, and you guys covered a lot of good points. Maybe it's because during this last week I finally watched Artemis Fowl, and I have seen Spy Kids, and I have seen The Adventurers and The Hunters and all these other ones where it's basically parents were superheroes and the kids found out because the parents got abducted or whatever it is, So I like that genre. I really do. I think it's a fun genre to play with. Another one that I watched was The Second Born Society. So again, all this kind of factors into one another, where the kids learn things about themselves. And so the premise was good. I kind of liked the idea here where the husband didn't know anything. I thought that was a nice new twist where she was in witness relocation. And so it was, new to him too. And having this ex-fiance on the side here now, who also went into it, supposedly went into it separately. And, you see how they click, how the two ex-thieves click together. And it's all second nature to them, and they're just back to working as normal again, and talking about all these adventures that they had. And you see this geeky husband who's a pastry chef, just there in the middle, going, "Okay, yeah, I know, get a room," feeling kind of out of place, and like he was just there to be her cover. That what they had wasn't real. I thought that gave it a good added dimension. That usually when you're into this movie genre, the parents are together, right? They're in the same situation. They both were spies, or they both were whatever's together. So having this where it was split, where it was even a surprise to him, that's, I think, a nuance that you don't see a lot of the time. So I like that. The kids having to step through and go through all the things had a bit of a good feel to it. I liked all the puzzles they had to solve. That was all good. So again, like Mike said, it's a good family film. There's not really a lot of cursing. There's not nudity. There's none of that stuff. There's a little bit of action and violence, but they even say, "Hey, we don't kill anybody." So I think it's a good family film to watch, and I think this is one that maybe I might get the wife to watch initially. If I decide to watch it again. Actually, Mike, I did not know that she was in the Kim Possible movie before you mentioned something. I had to look it up to see that she was. Actually, I think what got me onto this one was the Joe Manganiello. I think I just did a deep dive on movies that he was in. So, for some reason, I remembered seeing him in Pee-wee's Big Adventure or whatever it was, and I think I backtracked and found him in a bunch of B movies. So that's what kind of got him on the list here. But anyway, overall, I thought it was pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give it a smile because, again, I think it's nice. It's that family film that you can watch with a bunch of people around and not feel too bad. It's also a movie you can kind of put in the background and do other things while you're watching it. So that helps out a lot too. So a smile from me.
I remember the other movie I forgot.
Yes?
True Lies.
True Lies. Yeah, that is one where that is the only other one I can really think of where one side, love you too, Mama Blair, where one side doesn't know what the other side does.
Yeah.
That's but you have to admit it's really rare to find those. I mean, typically you don't see them.
No, that was an interesting part of it.
Yeah. But all right, Mike, time to pick the 2 movies for next show.
So we are 1 to 49.
7.
Jackie Chan. Let's see if it's still around.
Oh, Jackie Chan.
Nope.
Yeah, that's been on there way too long.
All right, 29. Red 29. Red 29.
Oh boy.
What the heck is that?
Desperate to save the world and his job, the creator of Earth journeys to the planet to reconnect with humanity via an internet variety show starring Tommy Chong. It's God. G-A-W-D. God. This, hold on, because I'm gonna make sure that this gets copied over. This movie is everything right now, as my wife would say. This is going to be Tommy Chong. Tommy Chong's gotta save Earth, man. This is perfect.
Yeah, I'm into that one. Well, he copies. Give us another number.
All right. 15.
This is about the dude from Friends. apparently it's gone.
Okay.
Killing Gunther. It's not available.
39.
Yeah, pretty sure that this is available.
Oh.
Aaron Eckhart movie.
Ooh.
A security expert and ex-CIA agent living in Belgium must go on the run with his estranged teen daughter when they're both marked for assassination.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds like that. Sounds like that Mel Gibson movie we watched.
What was this one called?
Yeah.
Erased.
2012 movie.
Oh, I thought it was.
6.1 out of 10 according to IMDb.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. It sounds interesting. I think both of these sound interesting.
Yes, two opposite ends of the spectrum. Tommy Chong, Aaron Eckhart. All right, it ought to be a good time.
Yep.
Ought to be a good time.
And we said, let me see, The Spy Next Door was not available.
Oh, it wasn't? I thought I saw it on YouTube or on Netflix, but oh well, that's okay.
No, if it is, we can add it back on. But
Nah, it's okay.
What was the other one that I just said was not? Oh, I don't forget. Killing Gunther.
Killing Gunther.
Because I was hoping it was about. It was like a Friends mockumentary.
So, all right.
This Tommy Chong one, I'm so looking forward to this. I'm not gonna lie.
We're usually not looking forward to I don't think we've ever said I'm looking forward to a Tommy Chong movie. But whatever. All right.
Yes. My Next Door is still on Netflix.
All right. That's okay.
Is it?
That's all right.
That's fine.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening to PTR Radio here on the Fabulous Interweb. We do want you to follow along with us on social media. Don't forget, check us out, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Just look for @PTR Radio. You can find us there. You can check out the show anytime. PTRradio.com is our website. More changes to that will be coming here in the near future. We'll be back in 2 weeks, so that puts us at the 1st. So February 1st, we'll be back here on the airways as it was. And who knows? You never know when we're going to pop in and do something spontaneous, like stream me playing Mario. It could happen. Probably won't.
It could.
But it could. You could watch me playing old school Mario Kart. That I'm sure everybody would find that fascinating. Probably not, but never know. So, all right, we don't have any personal appearances because COVID. We don't have any, anything to shout out. So, because we don't do that here. And remember, folks, the Earth is round. That's our parting gift for you tonight. Is the Earth is total? It's not really totally spherical. It's an oval. It changes the closer we are to the sun. Yeah. So, but definitely not flat like a pancake. All right. We know that for sure. All right. So, with that said, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the Apeman.
All right. Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.